4:21.
Yes,
Mr. Davis, Ash, why are you doing this? I'm David Menzies, Rebel News.
Hi. No, you're not really a part of this. Human rights.
What about the human rights of biological women being injured by this man? As a mother, why would you expose your kids to a massage?
That is my partner. That is my wife that you are being.
So he's a lesbian?
It's not a sport, or it's not an issue.
I'm a registered social worker, sir, and I demand human rights for everybody.
Oh, okay.
They just... Yeah, what's a biological female?
How do you feel about a biological male playing in rugby, man?
Thank you. I don't really give a f***. Everybody.
Okay. I don't know what is a crime anymore.
Well, sometimes we all ask ourselves that, right?
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Fergus, Ontario. And folks, I'm at Victoria Park Field, and this is going to be the site for a female rugby game. It's going to be Fergus against Burlington. And what can I tell you? This is yet another edition of how Transanity continues. You see, there was a member of the Fergus team who is a biological male. Just look at him. His name is Ash Davis. He doesn't resemble a female at all. I mean, he's not even trying to pull off the scam with a fake wig or giant breasts a la our favorite Halton District School Board teacher, Busty Lemieux. Now, that might all be well and jolly. It's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt, right? Well, that's the point. Biological women are being hurt by this grifter. Last month, there was a game that Fergus competed in, and three women had to be carted off the field with injuries. It's inexplicable. I mean, with the exception of auto racing and equestrian, the genders are divided, especially for a sport like rugby. You know, some people are comparing this to the Leah Thomas situation in the US with the male swimmer cleaning the clocks of biological female swimmers, but it's far worse in rugby. Rugby is a contact sport. At least all the swimmers in female swimming have their own protected lane. That is not the case here. Now, the other thing is there has been virtually zero media attention regarding this outrage, with the exception of our good friend Joe Warmington with the Toronto Sun. It looks like this is another example of diversity, inclusivity, and equity. No, I would call it misogyny. Indeed, if you think I don't know anything about rugby, fair enough. I'll tell you the governing association for rugby, that would be World Rugby, they recently outlawed males competing with females. And for good reason. The cardiovascular differences, the muscle mass differences, and on it goes. So why are these contests involving a male rugby player playing with a female rugby team being allowed in the first place? Well, folks, I think one big reason why this outrage is being tolerated, well, it's due to political correctness and wokeism. Rugby Canada says that this is a federal inclusion issue, so that means transgendered players are welcomed into the league. Bizarre. I guess Justin Trudeau's mindset trumps the rules and regulations of World Rugby. And as for Rugby Ontario, they just want everyone to shut their mouths and not talk about it. Rugby Ontario had this to say in a statement, quote, "If you are contacted by anyone in the community or the media, please do not engage by offering any opinion or comment on the situation," end quote. What a bunch of cowards. I would argue, what a bunch of misogynists. This is absolutely outrageous. Now, folks, before I get into the story du jour, please, if you can, go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com. My cameraman Efren and I, we traveled all the way to Fergus to bring you this story, a story the mainstream media would never dare cover. So if you can go to that website, and make a small donation, that would be greatly appreciated. We're going to take in the game between Fergus and Burlington, and we're hopeful to scrum Mr. Davis and his teammates and the opposing team. I have no idea what we're going to run into, but should be interesting.
Banana, 34-21.
Yes, he can.
Hey, Mr. Davis, Ash, why are you doing this? I'm David Menzies, Rebel News.
Hi. No, you're not really a part of this. We're having a team chat now.
Okay,
so.
I'm just trying to ask some questions,
Sorry,
ma'am.
but this is not the appropriate time for that.
Why are
So
you
it's
allowing a
not-
biological male to compete against female
I'm
players?
not going to have a conversation with you.
Well, I'll talk to Ash then. Ash, do you take joy in injuring female rugby players? Are you lacking the skills to play with male players where you should be? You're a biological male, aren't you?
I got you. Right here. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Ash, are you a misogynist?
Coming with me? Please, thank you, please.
Hey, watch it. You'll be charged with assault.
Get a child. Would you mind leaving?
Mr. Ash, the governing body for rugby, World Rugby, says men should not compete.
Trans lives matter.
Wow, really?
All
Trans lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. Human rights matter.
You don't have a problem.
You can leave now.
Human rights
thank you, sir.
issue.
Now, thank you.
This is a human rights issue.
Oh, okay then.
We live in Canada. All rights, human rights for everybody.
What-
Trans matter.
What about the?
Trans rights matter.
that you are traumatizing my family.
I'm traumatizing them. Why? What happened?
Because my kids get to see people like you crying because of things.
I'm surprised.
need you in our
As a mother, why would you expose your kids to a
Because
massage?
that is my partner. That is my wife that you are being.
So he's a lesbian?
So I'm gonna just ask you guys,
Why?
please. Yeah.
What-
actually need to
Do you think it's okay for him to injure biological women?
So I'm not going to answer any of your questions. And I'm
Then
not gonna
have a nice day.
Yeah, I need
Human rights. Human rights.
What about the human rights of biological women being injured by this man?
Human rights.
What about the biological rights of the...
Charter of Rights and
Charter of Rights and
Humans matter. Human rights matter.
Well, why do we
Human
have...
rights, no.
Why do we have separate
Human
categories
rights
for male
matter.
and female sports?
Human rights matter. You're being asked to leave. Human
That's
rights
right, it's a public
matter.
park, ma'am.
Human rights.
Can I call you ma'am?
matter. Humans rights matter. All people in Canada have rights.
What about the
Charter of
rights of
and
biological
freedoms.
women getting injured by
Charter of
this
rights
man?
and freedoms.
You should keep your distance because you're not welcome.
Yeah,
making an
I'm in a public
unsafe
park.
territory.
Okay, unsafe? I think he's making it unsafe for biological women. Ash, why? Do you get? Is this a fetish? Do you?
Rights.
Ash, do you enjoy? Do you enjoy?
Human rights matter.
That's all you can yell.
Human rights matter.
Tell that to the injured woman.
Matter. Their rights matter.
No, I think you.
Their rights matter.
to call the police.
Oh,
Their
okay,
rights
fine. Call the
matter.
police.
I will.
Okay, what's the
I think
charge?
it's time for you to
What's the
finally
charge?
leave.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't cry. There's
Human chain, human chain.
Hey, excuse me.
Human chain,
Wow,
I'm sorry,
isn't this
sir.
amazing?
Human chain.
I've never had such female attention.
Human
It's
rights
unbelievable.
matter. Human rights matter. Human rights matter.
The game is over. You lost.
Their rights matter. Human rights matter.
Why did you lose the
Human
game?
rights
Not enough
matter.
men.
Human rights, sir.
Human rights.
We're showing you respect. Human rights
We
matter.
ask that you value our privacy as women. We're
Okay.
going to the women chain.
Human rights matter.
Okay. What about the rights of biological females not to get injured by a man?
Everyone's rights matter. Everyone. Everyone.
Wow.
Everyone.
You've really been indoctrinated.
Everyone.
I'm surprised you're such misogynist.
Everyone.
Let's go.
Everyone's rights matter.
Yeah. All right.
Sir.
I don't want to hit you. I don't believe in hitting a woman, unlike Ash, your teammate.
Everyone's rights matter. Don't.
Can I call you a woman?
Let's go.
Oh, are you identifying as a female too?
Let's go.
Who are you?
Get out of here.
Human rights.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Human rights matter.
Excuse me.
Human rights, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Human rights matter. Human rights matter.
Well, they're trying to cause physical interference. They are rugby players, after all. I don't want to fight back because Well, I'm not Ash Davis. I'm a biological male that respects females. And it's really uncanny, the amount of wokeness. These players have no problem. Maybe they look upon him as a competitive edge, even though they got blown out today. So I think Ash ran away into the field house. Does he shower with you girls too?
Human rights matter. Have a nice Saturday.
Does he get to shower with you?
Human rights matter. Have a nice Saturday, sir.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Thank you. Where's the car?
Which washroom does he use?
Show you to the car?
I know where the car is.
Well,
How you doing there?
Let's find his car.
Feel about a biological male playing in rugby, man?
Thank you.
I don't really give a f.
Everybody.
Okay.
Don't say anything.
Ma'am, I'm just confused. Why is it that sports are divided down gender lines?
Why don't you go home now?
You can go home, sir.
Let them play.
So why are sports divided male and female?
They aren't.
They're not?
Let them play.
What do you mean they're not?
Play. It's not a
Aside from equestrian and auto racing, they're all divided, sir.
It's not a sport, or it's not an issue.
It's not an issue.
What is it?
So you have
Let them play.
there's no biological advantages of a biological
My sister
male.
plays men's hockey. The only problem is she's better than the men.
You know, that's different though. I applaud your sister.
Well, you should applaud people. It's a sport.
Why would I applaud a cheater, sir?
It's not a cheater.
Okay.
It's a sport. Let them play. Don't be a bigot.
So do you disagree that males have a biological advantage over females?
I disagree that you are here harassing people.
Well, I'm just asking questions.
No, you're not. You're offensive.
Okay then. Thank you, sir. Can I call you sir? You're not identifying as something else, eh?
I'm identifying as your dick.
Wow, that's something. He's identifying as my dick. That's a new one. I think we're up to 129 gender identifications now.
Human rights for everybody!
Well, folks, the camera doesn't lie. As you can see, Ash's teammates, they seem to be all on his side in terms of playing rugby against biological females. And I can only think of two things. One is they are so indoctrinated that they dare not say anything anti-trans because they will be canceled. That's the society we live in. Or they actually believe this. This woman just keeps yelling the same thing.
Human rights for everybody!
What a...
Human rights for everybody!
Jill, can we just go into the change room, please?
She's only chanting dogma, folks. She doesn't want to have a conversation because she doesn't have an answer. With every sport, with the exception of equestrian and auto racing, the athletes are divided by gender, but those lines are blurring, even though the governing body for rugby, World Rugby, is saying this is a no-no. So why is this being tolerated in Ontario? Unbelievable. That was rich, folks. We were told to stop filming a change room. The only problem is we're on the outside of the change room. We can't see anything. Ash is inside, presumably getting naked with people like this.
I'm a registered social worker, sir, and I demand human rights for everybody.
Oh, okay.
I demand human rights for everybody. Human rights for everybody.
Can I play ringette with 5-year-old girls?
Human rights for everybody.
What was that? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Human rights for everybody. Do you see the change room sign?
We're not in the change room.
Human rights for everybody.
Number 24 is a real delight, wouldn't you say? Would you like to weigh in about this male player playing on a female team, sir?
I don't care. I'm impartial.
Okay, then. So why is this being allowed? Because World Rugby, the governing body, says this is against the rules. You can't have biological males playing against biological females.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they just... Yeah, what's a biological female?
Well, I would imagine if you're born with female genitalia versus male genitalia.
Where did you get your PhD?
Pardon me?
You're defining a biological female. Where did you get your PhD?
So I'm defining a, but ma'am, in the history of sports, all sports, with the exception of equestrian or auto racing.
There for history. I'm only 19 years old. I cannot say what happened 20 years ago because I wasn't.
No, but in the here and now, you see male tennis, female tennis,
I don't
right?
see any tennis. I don't watch tennis.
Oh, okay then. So it doesn't exist then.
To me, you can't ask me a question about it because I have no idea. Just the same as you can't talk about what a female is if you're not a doctor.
I can't? What is a female then? Do you have a definition?
No, I'm not a doctor.
Well, how do you like that? You have to be a doctor in order to define what a female is. You know what? I think she has a kindred spirit south of the border. That U.S. Supreme Court Justice, a female herself, can I call her that? Who was unable last year to define the word woman.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the
biologist.
meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
So, welcome to Justin Trudeau's Canada in 2023, in which the police are called regarding a disturbance. That would be me asking questions, maybe impolite questions, to a male grifter who is passing himself off as a female and injuring female rugby players. I told the sergeant there is a male in the female change room, and he said no crime here. And I guess there is no crime. I mean, look at the Pride Parade last month in Toronto, where you had members of the Rainbow Mafia marching in complete full frontal nudity in front of children, no less. Nope, the cops tolerate that. But if you ask an insensitive question, oh boy, look at that. 2 police SUVs dispatched to the scene as though there was a homicide committed. Unbelievable. You might want to investigate this. There is a biological male in a female change room.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not a criminal offense at all, is it?
Oh, okay. Then, well, I guess you're right. At the Pride Parade in Toronto, you can go full frontal nudity in a public street and not get charged either.
Yeah.
I don't know what is a crime anymore.
Well, sometimes we all ask ourselves that, right?
Okay, then.
We're just simply here to keep the peace, and that's kind of our role here today.
Oh, okay. I understand that, officer. Our role is practicing journalism, and we're just asking questions.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Was there any particular reason you were called? I mean, it's not for us, surely.
We were just told that there's a bit of a disturbance here, so we just wanted to make sure that everyone was behaving and
Well,
not
actually,
breach the peace and such.
Well, actually, sir, there was a member of the team, a male member, a second OPP cruiser, that pushed me. I think that's technically assault. Are you interested in pursuing charges?
If you want to make a complaint about that, you're more than welcome to come down and provide a statement and such.
Okay, thank you. Can I get your card, sir?
Yep. Well, I can give you my name. I don't have a business card with me right now.
Oh, okay then.
It's Sergeant Porterfield.
Sergeant
So,
Porterfield.
When it's convenient to you, if you want to come down to the Fergus detachment, we can come and investigate your complaint.
Okay then. Well, Sergeant, I want to apologize that this use of police resources is being used to, I don't know, censor the free press in Canada. I'm simply asking questions.
Oh, no, you're more than welcome to ask questions.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
fine.
For now.
we just want to make sure that there's no breach of the peace. That's why we're here.
Sir, the only one that had their peace breached was myself by being pushed around.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Take care, sir.
All right. Have a good day.
You as well.
Well, folks, I got to tell you, I never expected a reaction like that. You saw the vitriol that was hurled at Efren and I by his teammates. As for those who have a contrarian opinion, they would only speak to us off camera and off the record. They support the light that we're trying to shed on this egregious situation. But you know how it is, folks. We live in a day and age of cancel culture. They'll be branded as transphobes, bigots, etc. And, well, again, another example of the tyranny of the minority. And as I referred to in the introduction, the World Rugby Union does state the following in terms of their transgender policy, which is, quote, transgender women may not currently play women's rugby. Why? Because of the size, force, and power-producing advantages conferred by testosterone during puberty and adolescence, and the resultant player welfare risks this creates, end quote. They're basically stating the obvious. They're basically stating common sense. And as I said before, 'twas ever thus with few exceptions that male and female sports were divided. But welcome to our new world order, folks, where a clear biological male can play against biological females with all the inherent advantages of speed, size, and muscle mass. And we've seen the results. Women are getting creamed. The women are being taken off the field on a stretcher. But to the woke players in this rugby league, this is all about inclusion. Man, oh man, whatever happened to the women's liberation movement? For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, I know you love it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story. Take this story, for example. This is way too radioactive for the mainstream media to handle, except for a couple of exceptions. So I'm going to ask a favor of you. Can you please go to rebelfieldreports.com? That's rebelfieldreports.com. We don't receive a nickel worth of government funding, nor would we take it if offered. Thank you so much in advance.